Share this article. Democratic votes were the majority in the 49th district, and could give Mike Levin the edge in an area that long voted Republican. Campaign photo ballots are still being counted, but the June 5 primary is already offering good news for Democrats hoping to take back the House of Representatives in November. Not only did the party steer clear of its dreaded shutouts scenario, in which an oversupply of candidates in some of the most competitive races threatened to leave only Republicans to advance to the general election, but the preliminary count also suggests that primary voters in certain high-profile districts are much more inclined toward Democrats than they were in 2014. That may or may not foretell a blue wave in California, but it does show that Republicans have their work cut out for them. Why should the array of, mostly, leftward-pointing arrows in the chart below worry Republicans? Comparing the June 2018 primary to the June primary in 2014, the share of the vote going towards Republican candidates has fallen dramatically in many of the very seats that Democrats are most hoping to flip this fall, in the district along the border of Orange and San Diego counties represented by GOP Rep. Darrell Issa, who is retiring this year. A majority of primary voters cast their ballots for a Democrat. A few more of the district's national Democrats have targeted are within spitting distance of a partisan break-even. In GOP Rep. Jeff Denham's district in the Central Valley, Republicans cobbled together 52% of the vote, down from 59% in 2014. Likewise, in both Laguna Niguel and Palmdale, Representative Mimi Walters and Representative Steve Knight, the only Republicans running in their districts, got 52% of the vote as well. That represents a big shift since 2014, the only other non-presidential election year in which a primary was held under the state's new top two system. In Issa's district, 16 candidates were vying to replace him in the lead-up to June 5. The top two winners, Republican Diane Harkey and Democrat Mike Levin, won around 26% and 18% of the vote, respectively. What would a head-to-head Harkey-Levin matchup look like without the 15 other competitors? One way to guess is to tally up the share of the vote that went to all Republican candidates and compare it to the Democratic share. Assuming that the various supporters of Assemblyman Rocky Chavez, San Diego Supervisor Kristen Gasper, and the other 5 Republicans running in that district are likely to fall behind their party's candidate in the general election, that ought to give us a pretty good idea of what to expect in November. And the results don't look good for Harkey. So far, and again, ballots are still being counted. The Republican candidates in Issa's seat have garnered 48% of the vote, that's compared to 51% for all the Democrats. That's also a steep decline from the 2014 primary share when Issa, running as the only Republican, won 61.9% of the vote, even in districts like Denham's, Walters, Knight's, and Rep. Dina Rahab-Achers, where Republicans won slim majorities of last week's vote, those margins may be a little too close for comfort for the GOP. Republicans tend to be more reliable primary voters than Democrats and political independents, so the Republican share of the vote is likely to be lower in most districts come November. CALmatters.org is a non-profit, nonpartisan media venture explaining California policies and politics. June 5 primary results showed big shift to Democrats across California was last modified, June 16, 2018 by editors subscribed to Times of San Diego's free daily email newsletter. Click here, follow us.